In this video, I'm going to show you how I design a website. I'm gonna go through everything from research, wireframing, and design itself. I want to show you my process on how I approach every project I take and show you the final result that came out of it. We're going to be designing a website for agency Grateau. For those of you who are familiar with Emily in Paris, know that it is a luxury marketing firm there, so I thought we can design a website for them. Alright. Before we actually hop into Figma and start designing, I like to do a little research. And since this is a passion project, I cannot consult them directly as I would typically do with a real client. But for this, we're gonna talk to ChatGPT. I've opened my ChatGPT and I'm gonna start writing a prompt. I'm gonna ask him to be my client, and then we can use this as research to start designing. This is a prompt that I came out with, and it's I'm designing a website for agency Grateau, a luxury marketing agency from Emily in Paris, as a passion project. I would like you to act as my client, providing guidance on the essential elements a high-end marketing firm would need on their homepage. Based on the show, please outline the services they would need, and along with any specific sections, visuals, or features that would appeal to their international clientele. Feel free to include any details you think would elevate the luxury feel and align with Agence Grateau's brand image. This is important because we need to know what services they're offering and also who is their target audience. So these are the things that it generated. It generated their mission, unique selling point, key values, services offered, team members, pretty good things that we can start working from directly. I'm going to take this information and use it to create wireframes. Alright, now we can finally move into Figma and start by creating a board. I like to make sure that things are the easiest and the fastest. I like to use Resume library, where I pick a lot of their wireframes and then just stuck them up on my page. So I have a nice preview on how each section is gonna look like. So I get the structure right. We're gonna need a nav bar. So I just do this. Then we're gonna need a hero section. I think this one can be good. Then we're gonna need also a about section. And then I like to go back to the ChatGPT, take a look on what it generated, and then like go back and forth of like what we need and what we don't need. So we're gonna definitely need also services here, super important. Okay, this can work. Start adding basically section by section. When I have something like this, I like to go inside and start changing the copy. In real projects, sometimes you're gonna have already copies, sometimes you are not gonna have a copy. So in that case, you can use placeholder text, which is always very helpful. And it also is gonna help to guide your client and is gonna know approximately like what they should include into each section. So this is so far what has been working the best for me. Now go in and start tweaking a copy. We know that they're a luxury firm. So instead of just saying, I don't know, services like this, we can change the language and say something more like signature services, just to add a little touch to it. I changed up a couple of things. I have updated this nav bar. I've added all the necessary information we need. Then I've also changed the copy basically across the entire page, but I still haven't really make it super beautiful or unique. So this is when the third step is gonna come in, where I like to take these wireframes and then tweak them and put them into a little bit more of an interesting layout. I'm gonna show you how I do that. So for the comparison, this is how I started building out the layout, how I would envision the final designs of looking like. Some of you are gonna say, oh, these are like way too many wireframes. Yes, it is true. However, it's important to keep in mind the first wireframe that we did was to make sure that we have all the content and structure ready, and then we went in and started adding details, and afterwards I started playing a little bit more with the layout. So one big change that I did, as you can see, is I've changed the signature services. Instead of having all of them appear this way, I started showing them this way. That once you click on, I don't know, for example, public relations and influencer marketing, this picture would change. It is a little bit hard to envision that on a wireframe, but when I'm gonna show you the final design, it's gonna make sense. So this first part of a design process was wireframing. I was focusing primarily on the UX, if I've included everything that I've needed, and whether the website is going to be working and it's not going to be confusing to look for information. Now we are entering the design phase, which is honestly my favorite, because this is where I can finally put my wireframes that I've designed to life. And also we need to look for Agence, Grateau, Emily, and Paris. And also another thing, since we are designing a website for them, I need to have a sense of look and feel on how they're like. This is also a little bit of a branding approach. I just like going in and taking a look and just getting ideas, you know? I like something like this, so I'm just gonna copy, just paste it here for inspiration. I'm gonna cut the video here and then show you what I came out with. This is the inspiration that I was able to gather, and I think it looks really good. We can go this direction and create something similar to this. Before I would even do like any of this research, my first thought was creating a color palette that would be like super vibrant, that would scream like, I don't know, Paris, emotions, like, I don't know, like all of these things. And I wanted initially the color palette to look something like this. It didn't feel right. So I stick to light pink. And the reason why it wasn't right is because I never saw this super maroon red anywhere. So it wasn't representing anything. So this is also like a question when it comes to branding on, is there any association with something? In this case, it wasn't. Maybe if I would look more and research more, there could be, but so far for the information that I've gathered, this is what seems to be working the best. And here are a couple of ideas that I liked of the sites, which layout are like or are in a similar vibe that I kind of want to move towards. For the sake of this video, since I don't want this to have, 10 hours, I'm going to show you now the final result. As you can see, this is a website that I was able to design from the wireframes I had previously and from a little branding research that I've done. I think it looks super luxury. It has like all of these elegant details that I think represent their agency super well. Let's actually compare the wireframe version to the actual design version. Let me pick this. You can see I completely changed the font. I've changed about Agence Grateau section quite a lot because I realized that this layout just wasn't simply working. So there was a slight change. Then this pretty much stayed the same. I just added a little details. For portfolio highlights, the same thing. I've added a couple of details. And for Meet That Revisionaires, this section also has changed a little bit. So this is how it looks when I open the site on my computer. I've added a little details, so it looks like it's a button, and also a couple of animations that made it look a little bit more interesting. And that was it. Thank you so much for watching this video and sticking up till the end. I hope it was beneficial to you and you were able to learn something new. If you have some ideas that you would like me to film, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching and see you in my next one.